Tom Beresnyak is on the line with us from Indiana County's Extension Office, and our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. And Tom, it's so good to have you on the line with us here this morning. This came up last week or so when I was talking with Bob Pollock, and I was on the Penn State Extension website at that time and noted that Penn State is working on rural broadband issues and involving some interesting players. And the federal government is a part of this as well. And, well, Bob said, I know who to talk to about that, and that's why you're here, Tom. No pressure at all, huh?
Hey, thanks. I appreciate the opportunity, Todd, and thanks, Bob, I guess, for getting me on here. But, yeah, we've had some exciting progress in what we do at Penn State Extension. Obviously, our role is education, and we got interested in this in 2017, actually. We actually had all 13 electric co-ops come into State College to talk about the Connect America Fund auction, which was an FCC program back then to provide funding for Internet. And through that process, I think the state was a little bit, upset that they didn't win more funding through that particular auction. But we did meet up with the Public Utility Commission there, and that led to some conversations saying, hey, there's a new auction coming up in 2020. We need to hit the ground running a little bit better. And one of the things that was kind of missing was good mapping of where in Pennsylvania the funding could be used. So we started working, like I said, in 2017 with them. We did a lot of on-the-ground visits to talk to farmers. I think people might be amazed here, even in Indiana County, we have a robotic farming operation here in the county now. That requires a broadband connection. I don't know if you've ever been past Fabian's farm, but that operation, actually, they're desperate for some good Internet. If you've ever been in a modern combine, it looks like a space shuttle. So there are major advances in agriculture and precision ag that we wanted to make sure we were in a position to take advantage of. So we started working with them on a map, and it took the data from each county and where there were census block groups that were eligible to bid. And it was an exciting result this round. Again, this is the Rural Digital Opportunity Fund. Pennsylvania scored nearly $369 million. Yeah. So that'll serve 66 counties in the Commonwealth, and about 327,000 folks will be getting Internet access here in the Commonwealth. Now, I wish it was tomorrow. It's not. It is a 10-year funding process, but there are incentives to get the connectivity within 6 years. So it's kind of loaded to incentivize those winning bidders to get that within 6 years.
So the auctions were held in 2020, and were they county by county? And what was Indiana County's result?
Well, we looked statewide, of course, but I think one of the great things was because the map allowed you to go in and look county by county, or you could look by U.S. Representative District or the state rep district, you could see what the win was. But Indiana County did extremely well. Indiana County will receive over $14 million in support from this auction, the bulk of which will go to Windstream Services. They scored about $12.4 million. The next big winner was SpaceX, which is Elon Musk, a low Earth orbit satellite system. That's about $1.4 million. And then ComNet scored about $300,000. So you could actually go to extension.psu.edu. If you search in the box there and type in broadband map, you can actually look at Indiana County. It's color-coded by who won and what areas. So it's a big bulk of the county that will receive support to expand Internet within the next, like I said, that rollout will take 6 years or so to complete the project.
Now, we had Chad Carrick from REA on a few months ago talking about REA's efforts for bringing broadband to people, and across their platform, they're a very, very widespread organization, and Chad said they'd love to do it. There are plenty of people out there that really want to get in on this in terms of, and really not for a profit incentive, but simply because they know the need and they've got the constituents who want it.
Yeah, it's obviously something that is probably the number one issue that commissioners and folks around the state are hearing from the residents. it's something, in a virtual world, we were able to kind of give this presentation across the state to a number of counties. I will say I want to commend the commissioners here in Indiana County were able to use Federal CARES Act funds that came through here late last year with $1.7 million in improving broadband access and also emergency responder communication. So that was a great move also for the county. I know locally, Senator Pittman, Representative Struzzi have done some things at the state level on right-of-way legislation, some things that will make it a lot easier to deploy these networks. And we have our U.S. representation through G.T. Thompson. There are a lot of federal programs through USDA that could potentially be used to expand internet service. So there's a lot of momentum. I just heard this morning they're floating numbers that make your head spin of a $4 trillion infrastructure program in the United States that would include funding for broadband expansion. So I think we'll see in the next 3 to 6 months what happens there, and it could be a game changer in funding for this. But it is going to take a significant amount of money to build out these networks. I know you mentioned REA. They came out to one of our Farm Bureau legislative meetings, and they did announce that cost would be in excess of $100 million. So it's a significant capital investment to complete these projects.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what the bottom line is, people are just saying, when is somebody going to knock on my door and say, I'm here to wire you up for broadband? It's not nearly so simple as that, but that's the number one question for people is the timing of when we're going to get it. I think people are okay with the cost, Tom. I think it's just the idea of actually getting broadband because it is such an important part now of the economy, and we're at a competitive disadvantage for as long as we don't have broadband across the county, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. I think when you talk to people and they ask, when it's going to come, like I said, I wish it was overnight. It's going to take a little time to build out, but I think if anything's kind of kickstarted the efforts, it's obviously everything that's happened through the pandemic. One of the things we also worked with was school districts here in the state, and that's a huge concern. They put out a Center for Rural PA map a few months back showing the percent of households with limited or no access in school districts, and Indiana County was 30% or greater. There were a lot of counties in that 30% plus, but when the school districts saw that, they really had to make a decision to say, well, we can't really do virtual learning if that high percentage of students don't have access. So they had to go to printed paper packets for folks to pick up, and obviously that puts those students at a disadvantage to more urban, suburban schools that were able to take advantage of the digital capabilities that you have with the internet. Also looking at telemedicine here. We're in a very rural part of the state, obviously.
Yeah.
That would be a big thing for some of our older citizens to be able to talk to their doctor from their home. If you've been trying to kind of sign up for the vaccine, it's tough without an internet connection. So there are a lot of things that affect your life without that internet connection or connectivity from your students to telemedicine. And what we do, really increasingly, will be agriculture related with precision ag equipment coming down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a vital thing. It's coming. It's not coming fast enough. I'm sure everybody feels that way, but as quickly as it can, and at frankly the best and most efficient use of the dollars that are available. One day we hope to very soon have internet broadband available all the way across Indiana County. Tom, this is such a complex issue that we probably need to spend a few hours on it, but we don't have that kind of time today. But I appreciate your time here this morning for visiting with us, and we need to renew this conversation in the future, okay?
Thanks, so I appreciate the time.
Have a great day today.
You too.
Bye now. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160.